Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 9. This is going to be my trailer breakdown for Episode 6 for this season, otherwise entitled The Good, The Bad, and The Lucky. But of course, before we get into anything else, let's actually watch the trailer.
Remember, you're zooping for 3 now that Iris is pregnant?
We've adopted a no zooping policy during the pregnancy.
Khione was the first person to know about Iris's pregnancy. You must have better abilities.
What if I don't have any powers?
You do. I was a goner, but then you kissed me. What?
So last episode, of course, had the big finale for the Red Death storyline, which seemed to be like, I don't know, a bit of a mixed response. It was pretty hard to tell at this point, at the very least, what's going on. Because I'm only making this video, like an hour or so after I upload my review, something like that. But of course, in it, we had the conclusion to the Red Death storyline where Barry was able to connect the dots, and we had Grodd connected to certain things, which was allowing Red Death to amplify their plan. Barry stops that, able to stop Red Death. Batwoman randomly shows up, but doesn't really add much. It's a bit random, to be completely honest, what happened there. But at the end of the episode, we do have the reveal that Iris is actually pregnant many months before the map book indicated that we saw in episode 1. This is due to Khione, or, Khione, Caitlyn's new character, whatever it is, sensing that within Iris, which of course leads to her powers and stuff, which had been hinted at early in the episode when she sort of brought Chillblaine back to consciousness after kissing him, which was a bit odd. It's like, what is this, Sleeping Beauty? What's going on here? But there was no real cliffhanger leading into this episode outside of the pregnancy thing. I did see people quite disappointed by that, but I don't know exactly what they would have left in a cliffhanger, outside of that. So yeah, we'll have to see how this episode plays out. But of course, before we break down the trailer for this episode, we will quickly read out the synopsis or description for the episode, which does give us a bit more context as to what's going on. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know in the comments section down below your various thoughts, theories, predictions, expectations for this episode. Always curious to read what you guys are thinking. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, want to show your support, everything like that, why not drop a like on the video? It takes 2 seconds. Luck be a lady. As Barry and Iris prepare for their new life, luck changes for those in Central City. Cecile takes on a case with Allegra's help involving a string of unfortunate and highly unexpected events. Meanwhile, Chester and the team work with Khione to figure out her abilities. So the main notice, if I want to say, for this episode isn't really specific about this episode, but it's afterwards. So there's no episode the week after this episode. So not sure what that means cliffhanger-wise at the end of this one and what it might set up. Sometimes we tend to get them when we are going on a week break without an episode. But then again, this episode isn't intertwined with the graphic novel from what we can tell, and neither is the next one from what we can tell. So who knows? Might just be its own little standalone thing. Flip of the coin, I guess. We'll have to wait and see. Now, the one thing that I think the trailer makes abundantly clear, which isn't going to please a lot of people, is that it does look like Barry or the Flash is not really going to be in this episode very much. We of course knew there was going to be a Cecile Allegra plot line within this episode that looked like it was going to be the main storyline for the episode, but there was a lingering hope, if you want to put it, that Barry would be a part of what's going on with Khione and her powers and all that within the episode. But it appears that another new Team Flash member discovering their powers, like Allegra back in season 7, funnily enough, within the episode won't be associated with the Flash. Very weird. They did in season 7, it didn't work, so fingers crossed it works this time around. I assume that because the pregnancy for Iris is happening like 3 months earlier than expected, that they are doing more of that baby moon stuff or whatever they were calling it. Sort of like their excuse to just do random intros and cold opens. But I was hoping it would be like that episode last season where it was an Allegra episode for the most part, which wasn't that great. But the side story was Barry investigating this new speedster in town who did end up being Mina Darwan, and then he went to like Lianne Yu to talk to Thawne and all that. That was like a really cool part of that episode and sort of made the episode not crap. But yeah, it doesn't seem like we're getting any of that, unfortunately. But the interesting thing is that this episode is written by 2 of the more senior writers in the writers' room, so it's weird that they are handling an episode that, at least in the bigger picture when you look down at it, looks sort of pointless or redundant. So maybe there is something within the episode that we don't know of and they're keeping it hidden. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see, but yeah, senior writers are writing it, so this would usually be an episode you'd think they'd hand off to like some new people, but yeah, we got some senior people doing it. Now, one question is time jumps throughout these interlude episodes before the Cobble Blue storyline starts. That's what people are wondering, because obviously Iris is now pregnant. Are we going to sort of like push through to the point by the end of the season she's, at the point where she gives birth. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if that is the case. Not saying it's like 3 months between each episode or something, but, maybe a couple of weeks here and there in between them, because I think they want Iris to be pregnant by around those final few episodes in the series finale, or around that point roughly where she does give birth. But then again, it depends if Candice Patton wants to wear the fake baby bump all the time in scenes later in the season. I'm not too sure. Now, one thing that a lot of people have noticed, I saw it, is that Iris's hair is all of a sudden different in this trailer compared to the rest of the season, but maybe that does suggest holiday time. They've been on holiday. I think her hair was different the last time they came back from something like that, so maybe that's the reason for that. I don't know if it insinuates like a week or two time jump from the last time we saw her, the end of last episode, where she had like the normal hair she's been rocking, for this season, last season, and I think maybe season 7, I'm not too sure. But maybe it's just been like a week or two, I'm not too sure. But I could just see them pushing along time-wise in this stretch of episodes when they easily can, especially considering that the Cobalt Blue storyline at the end of the season appears to have a good amount of time travel within it. So that would mean like the present day, in regards to everyone else, sort of stays stationary. Now, on the Cecile and Allegra side of this episode, though there isn't that much focus on them in the trailer, they did go with the more, interesting aspect that will be happening in this episode for the trailer, which is the Khione stuff. But Cecile and Allegra, as the synopsis does say, will be looking into a case involving a string of unfortunate and highly unexpected events. And in the trailer, for like a quick part of it, might I say, we do see Becky Sharp, aka Hazard from season 4, who of course did die in season 4 after being taken over by DeVoe, aka the Thinker, and then being disposed of. So I don't know exactly what the story around this is going to be. One, how she is alive, but just also the part where we see her hugging some guy, but then we also see in the same apartment that they're in the trailer, there is also a crime scene. So maybe Hazard has some bad luck streak like she used to have, but to the next level where it's killing people. I'm not too sure. We'll have to wait and see. Or maybe she's actually using it now to kill people. Like before, she was using it for her own advantage, but now she's maybe like legitimately doing some evil stuff with it. I'm not too sure which way it's going to go, but we'll wait and see. Now, the Khione training, obviously, it was sort of insinuated last episode that they're going to progress forward with this. Now, of course, we saw her bring Chillblaine, back to life, sort of, or make him conscious again. And she could sense that Iris was pregnant. And then in the earlier, was it episode 2 or 3, she appeared to change the weather with her emotion. So I'm not exactly sure what angle they're going with in regards to her powers. And in the trailer, it looks like Chillblaine is training her in a way she has powers like his gauntlets replicate, almost like she's loading her arm or something like that. So is she like a jack of all trades when it comes to nature or natural powers? I'm not too sure exactly how it's going to play out. There hasn't been too much of an indication previously. People thought she might have been connected to the weather, like a mother nature sort of thing. But then I don't know. I guess the other powers making Chillblaine wake up and sensing Iris is pregnant sort of plays into that as well. It's nature, it's life, it's biology or something like that. So I don't know exactly which way they're going about it. It's a bit odd, it's a bit random, but I don't know. I'm curious to see how it plays out and what it means, because I've sort of been confused since this character's been brought in and what her specific role is going to be in the rest of this season. Now, there isn't much in the trailer, so that's really all to go over from the trailer, but there is some promo images. There is 4 promo images here. And I think I've tried to organize them in a way that I think they flow in the episodes. The first one is just Barry and Iris hugging Chester and Allegra. This is West Allen meets Chegra. I don't know if that's a good combination or not. We'll wait and see. But this just seems to be at the beginning of the episode. And I think we're going to see Barry and Iris at the beginning and the end, which is usually how it flows when a character is slightly in the episode, but not really in the episode at all. They appear at the beginning, at the end, especially when Barry's not in an episode. That's how it rolls. But then we do have a picture here of Khione. This looks like just as she's about to go training and everything like that. And then this is one of Cecile and Allegra. It's a bit of a dark environment. This is just them investigating. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to play out. For some reason, this might not even... I think it's going to be the main storyline, just because Hazard's there, and I don't know how much time you can spend on screen throughout an episode just developing Khione's powers. I think that's going to be the subplot, and this Cecile and Allegra one's going to be the main story. Hopefully, it's interesting, because any work that he can do where they can make these two characters more interesting is a positive in any way, but I just don't know if that's going to work, because I think most of the audience is sort of tapped out in regards to really caring, but maybe this episode can change that. That's a wait and see, fingers crossed. And the last one here is sort of what I was saying, where they appear at the beginning and they appear at the end. And this is a baby shower, sort of celebration sort of event thing where they can focus on that. where you can see it's clearly, you know, dedicated to Nora. You can see purple, white, and yellow balloons in the back. You can see the excess mobile that was like above, like when that last Temptation of Barry Allen episode, you could see it like above Nora's crib and it had the excess symbols and stuff like that. So they're preparing well in advance. I don't know if this suggests an even bigger time jump. Maybe at the end of the episode, they time jump like another 4 weeks. I don't know how they're going to play it off. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work. But obviously they're just under the assumption, oh, it's Nora. But because the pregnancy is happening 3 months early, does that change things? As I've said in a video, like maybe they make it that now it's twins. Now it's Nora and Bart. And we could get that classic, we're going to need more diapers line. Who knows what they're going to do here, but yeah, it seems like there's a bit of a celebration at the end, but we'll wait and see if there's any more surprises there. It wouldn't surprise me if there is another surprise, so we'll wait and see. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comments section down below your various opinions and all the stuff we went over throughout the video. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.